I'm feeling good.
Hey guys, Vinit here and you're watching V Diaries. Now, whenever I buy a new phone, then I get that feeling of excitement that stays there for a couple of weeks until I settle down with the fact that, now it's a week old phone and I don't have to see it that much. But ever since I bought the OnePlus 6, which was a couple of months ago, that feeling of excitement hasn't really gone away, and I'm still thrilled to use this phone as my daily driver just to see and unlock this device every now and then. So this is my review of OnePlus 6. Is it good? Is it bad? Or is it ugly? Let's find out. Before jumping into the design aspect, if you're not subscribed to my channel, here's a gentle reminder to do that. I make tech videos both in English and Hindi, and also post some cool travel vlogs where I record my journey to various places in India on my motorcycle. Do check them out and don't forget to drop a like if this video helps you. Now let's begin with the design aspect of OnePlus 6. The first thing that I want to address is the phone's incredible display. I know this is not usually the first thing that I talk about, but if you ask me what would be the very first improvement that I see from OnePlus 5T, then my answer is that huge screen on the OnePlus 6. The screen on the OnePlus 6 is still 1080p. 1080p, but in my opinion that looks sharp, colorful and very contrasting. Mind you, this is an AMOLED display that has a weird resolution of 2280 by 1080p pixels with weirder, if that is a word, 19:9 aspect ratio, and of course we have to address the elephant in the room, the notch, which has got mixed feedback from different users and reviewers. Some will go like, I don't like it, this is the iPhone X copy, but I personally don't mind it. I don't even notice it, it's that small and I have not had any issues with it. You can scale up the video by the notch and it will not cut through the video unless you want it to, which you can change in the display settings. Switch the full screen mode on and there you have it, notch. You can have full screen apps where you can take the advantage of the entire display. You can hide the notch. You can really do whatever you want with it. So it's very customizable, and if you hate it or love it, this phone should not be an issue for you. Now going back to the aspect ratio, you have the choice of enabling off-screen gestures, which I have enabled this time around. For early couple of days I did miss those on-screen navigation keys, but then I just got used to it like every time, and believe me, they are really smooth and well integrated. They somewhat refreshes the memory of iPhone X, like swiping from the bottom center to reach out to the home screen, swiping from bottom center and hold to get to the system tray. One more advantage of enabling the on-screen gestures is that they give you so much more screen real estate to work with. Another thing that turns me on this design is its back and how beautifully every element has placed in the center, maintaining that vertical symmetry. You have your vertical dual camera setup finally, which is centered in the middle. Under that you have dual LED flash, the new slimmer oval shaped fingerprint sensor, kind of a weird design though, but yeah, centered. Then you have the OnePlus logo that just looks neat, all located one below the other, just the way I love them to be. Another major change that surrounds this beautiful symmetry is that glass back. It really does make the phone feel great in hand and make you feel a lot more premium than its predecessor, the OnePlus 5T, which was pretty much all aluminum except for the glass front. The glass back on the OnePlus 6 means less heat transmission, which doesn't make you feel like you're holding a hot sausage while playing PUBG. But OnePlus hasn't really added any functionality to this glass back, and that leaves you with no wireless charging, which I think isn't that costly to add for a 35,000 rupees phone. Another cool feature that I appreciate the most in OnePlus devices is the notification toggle switch, which is now positioned on the right instead of the left, making it much easier to handle just with your thumb rather than your pointing finger on the left doing that awkward rubbing. And this time around I am more confident when I reach out to my pocket to turn it to silent just before getting into the meeting. Confident enough that I don't have to check so that it is not going to ring in the middle of an important talk. My only complaint about this phone's design is its low sounding speaker, which is a downgrade from OnePlus 5T. I really enjoyed the loudness on 5T, but mind you, they have retained the old school 3.5mm headphone jack, which is super convenient. So I would say you can tolerate the speaker aspect of this phone. So overall I am quite happy with the design of this device. Few experiments around the display, but yeah, quite happy. So now on to the camera quality. Overall I have been very satisfied with the images and videos that I captured with OnePlus 6. I have not seen significant improvements over the predecessor OnePlus 5T, but the new camera hardware improvements on this phone includes bigger sensor sizes which allow more light to come in, and thus in result it gives you improved low light output. We now have OIS or optical image stabilization in the 16 megapixel main sensor, which again makes low light photography and videography looks a ton better than OnePlus 5T, because you can lower the shutter speed all at the same time keeping the sensor steady, so less shakes and more clear low light photos. If you haven't seen my camera review, then the card might pop up on the right top anytime now. Also I have compared its camera with the Redmi Note 5 Pro, and I would be comparing its camera further with OnePlus 5T, so subscribe if you haven't already and don't miss out on such amazing videos. I'm also happy to report that the portrait mode on OnePlus 6 looks superb. It generates some really nice looking fox bokeh. So to speak, video capturing on this device is also great as well. You have a huge list of available resolutions and frame rate combinations. The video looks sharp. The OIS seem to work better at 1080p and not at 4K, which is kind of a bummer, but 1080p 60 fps is a nice deal for me, I guess. Going back to the camera quality, I wouldn't say it is at par with the Pixels and the Galaxy SS, but for its price, this should satisfy you. Going back to the variable video frame rates, you have some amazing super slow motion options like 1080p at 240 fps as well as 720p at 480 fps. Most of the time you're probably not going to use it, but it's good to have. I mean, if you want to capture at super slow motion, a very high frame rate, especially at 480 fps, which can give you some pretty cool looking results. But mind you got to have a ton of light in these scenarios, and whatever you say, anything looks cool in the slow-mo, isn't it? Another shortfall that I experienced with the camera application is that the manual mode is not provided for videography. I mean, what does it take to add that facility if 13,000 rupees on a 7X has it? OnePlus, learn something. Moving to another and probably the most used feature of the OnePlus 6 camera aspect is its 16 megapixel shooter over at the front, which has an f2 aperture, always seem to deliver sharp selfies, which now comes with the portrait mode as well. The flash is provided using the screen, but it delivers decent light in darkest of the situation. So if you're a person who takes tons of selfies, this sensor will not disappoint you for sure. Let's now discuss the user experience and the performance of this device. So the main reason why OnePlus device is called a flagship killer because it comes with the flagship chipset from Snapdragon, and this time around we have Snapdragon 845 on board along with 6 and 8 gigs RAM variants, and they all create a blazing fast performance. The storage that comes with these RAM options are 64 and 128 gigs respectively. The one that I own has 8 gigs of RAM with 128 GB of internal memory. Also, in case you decide to purchase any of the variants, then the purchase links are in the description below. Just in case, if you happen to buy it, it will help me. Moving to the Oxygen OS experience, a software which is already optimized to be lightweight and stock, and it screams fast with everything you do. Every process is just instantaneous, whether that's opening apps, multitasking, playing games, loading web pages, everything. The only time you see a lag is when your network can't catch up with the phone's blazing fast speed while browsing, and it's annoying. But overall it really is enjoyable to use, and it had not let me down in this entire 2 months time by its huge 8 gigs of RAM. I would say 6 to 7 times out of 10 your app is open in the background and ready to go. No problem if you don't open it for hours beforehand. And speaking of Oxygen OS, it really is my favorite flavor of Android. And there are several reasons behind that. The very first reason is it is very optimized for the hardware on board. Second, it offers a lot of useful features and customizations. You have a universal dark mode that saves battery, the gaming mode that blocks the notification from disturbing you, the reading mode that turns the display monochrome just so that it is softer on your eyes, the off-screen gestures, and there are several other features that I cannot list right now. And the third reason it gets regular software updates. Of course, not as quickly as the stock Android on Pixels, and the rollout is faster than any other premium brand. Reason behind that? it's again a less mods and stock nature of the Oxygen OS. The last thing that I want to address with regards to this phone's user experience are the biometrics, or the methods that you can use to unlock this phone. The facial recognition is excellent and super quick. You cannot fool it with your photo or video, but if you really don't trust it fully, you can always use the fingerprint sensor found at the back. And mind you, this is also incredibly fast. You can literally just tap at the back and it's already unlocked. So yeah, really excellent options with regards to unlocking the OnePlus 6. Apart from this, the usual stuff like network call quality, the data reception is top notch. No complaints whatsoever. The earpiece volume is quite loud. And now we come to the last aspect of this phone, the thing that powers this whole setup, that is its 3300 mAh battery, and when it comes to its backup, it's terrific. I think it performs just similar to its predecessor, the OnePlus 5T. Once fully charged in the morning, it gets me through a day of moderate and heavy usage with some juice left over at the end of the day. I got an average of 5 hours plus of screen on time, which is amazing for such huge screen and with that amount of battery power. Full marks to the Oxygen OS optimization. And even if you do manage to burn through the entire battery, which is kind of hard to do, you still have a dash charging at your disposal. And boy, it saved me in a lot of situations, especially when you have to leave home in next 15 minutes and the phone flashes low battery. And this is one of the reasons why I go back to OnePlus phones. Just as advertised, you can charge your phone from 0 to about 100% in 40 minutes. Isn't that beautiful? All in all, I'm very impressed with this device and really do enjoy using it on day-to-day basis. Some people are really pissed off by the OnePlus's pricing policy because they have raised the prices by 3 to 4,000 this time around. But I think that 6.28-inch huge, incredible sharp display, the OIS found in the main sensor, and the overall refined fit and finish of the phone are really worth of that extra cash. So to reiterate and to conclude, if you'd like to pick up a phone with excellent design, display, battery life, a pretty much decent camera and stellar software experience, and mind you under 40,000 rupees, then OnePlus 6 is the phone for you. So yeah, this is pretty much it guys. I hope this video helped you out, and I would really appreciate if you leave a like on this video, comment if you have any questions or suggestions, and subscribe for more content like this and some cool travel vlogs as well. And as always, you guys take care and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.